I also, Mr. President, wanted to talk about the success of the one big, beautiful bill. We're nearly at the 1-month mark, and the benefits to South Carolinians and Americans are remarkable. Let me just talk first for a few minutes about the success of historic firsts in the bill. The Trump accounts for every child is fantastic, but I wanted to spend a minute or two on the success of the tax credits for school choice embedded in that one big, beautiful bill. I will tell you, as a kid growing up in poverty, I went to 4 elementary schools by the 4th grade. So I know firsthand the importance of making sure that every single child in South Carolina, and I dare say every single child in America, deserves quality education. I don't care whether that's a private school, public school, homeschool, charter school. I want every child to have a choice in education. I believe the old motto is correct. When a parent has a choice, their child has the best chance at success in this nation, because education is the closest thing to magic in America. We can also celebrate the continuation of opportunity zones made permanent in that big, beautiful bill. I will say without any question, in 2017, in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, we passed, for the first time, my opportunity zone legislation. And as a result, over the last nearly 10 years, less than 10 years, we've seen over $90 billion invested in high poverty communities across our nation. And at home in South Carolina, we have 135 designated areas. And in those areas, we've seen over 18,000 jobs created, almost 4,000 housing units since its inception, and all of that nationwide with less than a 5% gentrification. We also wanted to target education in a different way, making sure that we would allow coaches and athletic staff to claim out-of-pocket job-related expenses on their taxes, just like we do for classroom teachers. So many American educators, too many coaches have to reach into their own pockets to make sure their students and their athletes have what it takes, not only on the field, but in the classrooms and even at home. There's benefits in the big, beautiful bill for every single South Carolinian, whether it's job creation, lower taxes, or stronger communities. The one big, beautiful bill brings home so many resources for thousands of South Carolinians. I think about the campaign promises made on the trail. Those same promises are producing for hardworking middle-class Americans. I think about my good friend who has a professional career waiting as a waitress. Jackie States is her name. She benefits tremendously from lowering taxes on tips. This is a campaign promise, Mr. President, that President Trump made on the trail, and we delivered for the American people by reducing, nearly eliminating tax on tips for so many people in the service industry. I was walking through the airport, and officers of the law, thank God for the law enforcement officers across this country who dedicate their lives to keeping all of us safe. But I'll never forget the comments made just a week or so ago by a few officers who are now more excited than ever to work overtime because President Trump has made it easier to keep more of their overtime wages in their pockets and not in Uncle Sam's coffers. This is good news for public safety, and it is great news for law enforcement families. Mr. President, our President Trump went a step further when he said he wanted to reduce the taxes on our senior citizens living every day. Some of them paycheck to paycheck. So what did our president do? He lowered taxes on Social Security, making it easier for our senior citizens on fixed incomes to make those very difficult ends meet. This is a big win for our seniors. I could also go on about the expanding tax credits for beauty salons and barbershops, the legislation that I wrote that helps more than 1 million small businesses, many of them minority businesses and rural businesses that desperately needed the assistance. Mr. President, I could go on about the importance of President Trump's work on securing our border, finishing the border wall with the extra resources, or talk about stopping the flow of fentanyl coming through our southern border or ports of entry. I could spend some time being thankful that we have Border Patrol agents that will be better resourced with better tools, restoring law and order in our nation because of that one big, beautiful bill. I could also, Mr. President, talk about how our military is better equipped with the tools of the future, not the 21st century, but the 22nd century. How, through the funding of the Golden Dome or improving the quality of life for our men and women in uniform by having more resources deployed to make sure that our military remains the finest fighting force on the planet. Or how we modernized our military. Or drill, baby drill. The ability to find more resources in the energy sector. As energy production goes up, Mr. President, prices come down. Not just prices at the pump, but prices at the grocery store. Whatever it takes to bring to the American people by energy, those prices go down, affordability goes up. I can go on and on and on, Mr. President, about that one big, beautiful bill, but time does not allow me to continue. I'll just close with this. I am thankful that we live in a country where our elected officials who run for office can be held responsible and accountable by the promises they make. We, the American people, can see the promises they keep. And this American, Mr. President, I will concede. This American, Mr. President, I will say, is very happy that that one big, beautiful bill helps working class Americans, helps women working and earning tips, helps men in barbershops. Mr. President, I can just tell you, this is one happy American because of the benefits coming out of that one big, beautiful bill. And I hope more Americans hear about the details of that fabulous piece of legislation that you worked so hard on and that I worked so hard on, because the American people can celebrate 4 more years, common sense, higher wages, lower taxes, and lower prices. Mr. President, I yield the floor.